Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of All Things Universal Orlando. Today, we're going to be looking at the top 5 things to do, the top 5 attractions at Marvel's Superhero Island and Islands of Adventure. Well, I'm excited about this one, I have to say. Huge Marvel fan, grew up that way. Big Spider-Man was always my guy. But before we even get into that, I want to remind you to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can be made aware every time we produce a new video. I also want to give a shout out to friends and family who are making this possible, providing footage, things like that. You guys know who you are. Appreciate those things. Check out Theme Park Brothers on YouTube. They've provided me with some footage. And I'm even trying to partner up with a travel agency to partner these things so that people will be giving these video links to look at when they plan a trip to Universal Orlando. So those are some things that are happening. The page is growing and I appreciate it. More and more of you are offering feedback and new ideas. I'm grateful for those things as well. Marvel Superhero Island was probably for me the big draw the very first time I ever went to Islands of Adventure. I was living in Florida at the time and I was a younger guy, in my early 20s, and I was thinking, man, how long have I been waiting for, a Spider-Man ride or things that had been important to me growing up. I was never a big DC guy. I never really cared much for Superman or Batman or anything like that. I didn't dislike that or anything. I just thought Marvel was better. And from the comic book childhood that I had, with huge subscriptions to Spider-Man and the Avengers and other comic books, I was super excited about Marvel Superhero Island opening up, the concept of having an amazing roller coaster themed around the Hulk, a Spider-Man ride, which was easily the one thing I was looking forward to the most. But all of the things that were there, this was just such a draw for me as a younger guy going to Islands of Adventure. So when I started this page, I thought that'd be a great thing to do. Let's break down just the top things to do there at Marvel Superhero Island. There's a lot of things to do, and I don't want to stick exclusively to attractions, but maybe. We'll see how that goes, so let's get right to it.
Great, Scott. Number 5.
Number 5. The fifth best thing I think you can do at Marvel Superhero Island is all of the character meet and greets. For a guy like me, growing up as a kid, reading Spider-Man comic books, Avenger comic books, X-Men comic books, all of those things, the idea of meeting these people firsthand was thrilling, even as a young man, even as a guy who knew it wasn't real, even as that guy. I still thought, this is cool. I'm meeting childhood heroes, and it's a pretty awesome thing. So I remember when I first saw them, they didn't ride around in the carts that bring them out there now. They just would be there at certain times. They had character meet and greets, and initially it was just Spider-Man. And there was a forever long line to meet him. But it was great. The costume was great. He was in character. He talked to you. And then over the course of time, we saw the introduction of new characters to what they have today. It's amazing. And it's ever changing. It's ever growing and evolving into becoming something more. The character actors who portray these superheroes, I think they do a great job. If you've ever experienced a one-on-one conversation or interaction with a guy as well, with one of the characters in the Green Goblin, it's amazing. It's funny, it's weird, it's just awesome. My favorite is still Spider-Man, but now with the emergence of the Marvel Cinematic Universe becoming so popular, and even though Disney owns that, I still like that Islands and Universal has this area, this island in perpetuity for this coast. And what I mean by that, and you can research this online, is that Disney is limited as to what they can produce from Marvel in Disney World in the theme park there around Disney here in the States. It's different once they get out on the West Coast, but here they're very limited. And that, from what my understanding is, in perpetuity, that Universal Orlando owns some exclusivity rights. I'm pretty happy about that. But the character meet and greets is a great thing. They interact with you, they talk with you, whether it's Captain America or whether it's Cyclops or whoever, even Doctor Doom, they interact with you. And I haven't heard Doctor Doom talk, but I have interacted with Green Goblin, with all of these guys, Rogue and Storm and Wolverine. They just do a great job of interacting with you, and they're pretty awesome about it. And I think that this is a great thing. I remember the first time I interacted with Spider-Man, got my picture, I was thrilled. My day had been made. I was in my 20s, but I just met my childhood hero. It was awesome. And now as I take my son, or in taking my son to do this, and my daughter, who actually dressed up as Rogue for Halloween one time and shared the picture of her in her costume with the character portraying Rogue in the studios, and they had this nice interaction. It was just a wonderful, wonderful thing. I am a huge Marvel fan, and therefore meeting my superhero characters is a big deal, and I think that this is probably an underrated thing to do. So take the time when you're at Marvel Superhero Island, meet the characters, talk to them, interact with them, wait for the picture. You'll remember it, you'll be glad you did, and for those reasons, the character meet and greets come in at number 5.
Number 4, boop boop be doop boop.
Number 4 is the Storm Force Accelatron. Now, I know when I did my top 5 worst rides at Islands of Adventure, this was on there. But I don't hate this ride. There's nothing bad about this ride. It's just a pretty simple teacup ride, which is standard. I think what I said in that video is that I just expect something a little bit higher from a highly themed resort like Universal Studios. I could find a teacup ride like this probably at most boardwalk carnivals or something similar. This one's good though. I actually like this better than the teacup ride at Disney. It's not as big, but I think there's an element of speed to this one that is not there. And it's pretty well done. It's not overly themed, but how much can you really theme a teacup ride, really? I mean, the storyline of battling Magneto and the dialogue that takes place, you know, you're so focused on spinning that you can't really pay attention to too much of that, and the theming of the queue is really nothing but just some cutouts with some comic book scenes on them. But the ride's fun, and even though I don't necessarily like doing this ride, I always wind up doing it, and I have a great time. I never regret doing it. It's just one of those things that's kind of a staple. It's not the first thing I do, it's not the last thing I do. If I missed this ride, it wouldn't be the end of my vacation, it wouldn't even have any kind of negative impact on me. But there's just something about it that's fun. And it's actually fun to watch people on this ride. I mean, I don't know why that's enjoying, but to stand to the side and watch people spin around is fun. And for those reasons, Storm Force Accelatron comes in at number 4.
Tree and a hop. Wait, tree or tree and a hop?
Number 3 is Doctor Doom's Fearfall. Now, depending on what day it is in the vacation, this could be as high as number 1 for me. I don't think there's anything more thrilling in any of the theme parks than this. There's just something about when you're shot up into the air that is wonderfully terrifying. I remember this past September doing this ride. I went on it with my soon-to-be daughter-in-law, who had never been on it, and as we got shot into the air, she's like, "Oh my gosh, why do people do this for fun? Why do they do this on purpose?" It was really funny. Just a great time. And as I recall, she's terrified as she was to do it, she did it again. There's just something thrilling about this ride. It's terrifying. It's nothing special when it comes to the queue. In fact, potentially one of the worst queues that's there. But when you get strapped into your harness or whatever it is, and you're wide open and you're so exposed and you're shot up into the air and then drop down in that moment of weightlessness, all of the things you'd enjoy from a free faller in this ride. But in addition to that is the acceleration when you're skyrocketed sky high. It's one of those things that its counterpart in Disney at the Tower of Terror doesn't have. The Tower of Terror doesn't shoot you up high in such a thrilling way. Not to mention, you're not exposed to the elements like you are in Doctor Doom's Fearfall. Doctor Doom's Fearfall is fearfully wonderful, amazingly thrilling, and one of my all-time favorite attractions. I wish it was a little bit longer, and at the same time, if it was, I'd probably lose my mind. So maybe it's just perfect. But I like to sit in different sections so I can look out over and see different sides of the park. You know, I sit on the back side, I can look out and see the Royal Pacific where we are usually staying, or any of the resorts that are over there. You come up on the other side and you can see Universal Studios, and you can even see parts of the other resorts that are way on the other side of town. You can look out and see City Walk, you can see everything. And it's an amazing thrill ride. Like I said, depending on the day, this could be as high as number 1. But for today, we're going to bring this one in for all of those reasons at number 3.
Number 2.
Number 2, the Incredible Hulk roller coaster. Now, I have to say, I liked the old track better than the new track. I like the new track, but for me, it just seems to jerk me around a little bit more. And sometimes I'll hit my head or hit my ear on the harness that's holding me in, and I don't love that. But boy, when it comes to thrilling, this is another great thrill ride. It is my favorite thrilling roller coaster to ride anywhere. And I've been on a lot of them, all over the world, or all over the country, in fact. So this one ranks really high for me. And again, depending on the day, this could also be as high as number 1, but also as low as number 3 or 4. It just depends on my mood, and you're probably like me as far as that goes. There's so many great things to do here in Marvel Superhero Island. It's a great track, but like I said, I liked the old one better. But there's nothing like being in the front row, which is worth waiting for, and just being launched through the tube, through the tunnel, out directly into an inversion. Amazingly thrilling, a wonderful ride, blisteringly fast, or so it seems. In one of my top 5 attractions at Islands of Adventure, I think I gave you the speed of this roller coaster, and I think it's somewhere in that 60 to 65 mile an hour range. I don't have that information with me right now. It doesn't matter how fast, it feels like you're going infinitely fast. It's just an amazing, amazing, amazing roller coaster. One of my favorite attractions in any theme park. It's a can't miss thing. I do it multiple times. Every time I go to the park, I'm on this ride at least once. It's that good. It is just a favorite of mine. It's themed well. Since they've done the new track, they changed the queue a little bit in the entrance with the Hulk holding the car up. And it's just really done well. But even inside the queue is pretty impressive. You're not gonna miss out on anything waiting in line. A pro tip, at least once, wait for the front row. It's worth it. It really, really is. It's gonna take you 15, 20 more minutes. Do it. You won't regret that. For all of those reasons, the Incredible Hulk roller coaster comes in at number 2. Now, before we get to the number 1, we'll recap the top 5 so far, but I also have an honorable mention, so let's hit that first. The honorable mention are the gift shops. Now, maybe you're thinking, really, that's an honorable mention? Yeah, it really is, especially for a guy like me who grew up with Marvel as this iconic thing. You go into these stores and they have comic books and autographs and props from movies and figurines, of which I have some. It's just, frankly, amazing. All of the things to see, the clothing, the shirts, the mugs, the keychains, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Put Spider-Man's face on something and I'm interested in it. They have amazing things in all of these gift shops, every one of them. I don't know that one's any better than the other. So go see them all. When you exit the Spider-Man ride, it takes you right into that gift shop, and that's an amazing gift shop. But when you do the character meet and greet with Spider-Man, you walk into that one, and that's an amazing gift shop. A little further up the road that has the comic book themed gift shop, and that's an amazing gift shop. It's just, listen, the gift shops in Marvel Superhero Island are worth the time to spend. Go in there and look at all of the stuff. You don't have to buy anything. Just to browse, just to window shop is all so much amazing eye candy. Such a thrill. And for those reasons, all of the gift shops come in as an honorable mention. So let's review the top 5 so far and then get to the number 1. Number 5, the character meet and greets. Already told you why it's important. Take the time to do this. Interact with these characters. They do a great job. They're always in character. And it's just excellent. Meet all of them, talk to all of them, interact with all of them. You'll be glad you did. Number 4 is the Stormforce Accelatron. At the end of the day, it's just a teacup ride, but it's a good teacup ride, and it's a lot of fun. Take the time to do this. Number 3, Doctor Doom's Fearfall. Again, potentially the most thrilling thing I've ever done, albeit short-lived, albeit a poor queue. It exits you into an arcade. There's nothing special about anything in this other than the thrill of being shot up into the air, being weightless for the briefest of moments, and then falling down. Great, great attraction. For those reasons, that one's number 3. Number 2 is the Incredible Hulk roller coaster. I just got through telling you about it. The most thrilling roller coaster I've ever been on. So here it is.
Number 1!
The number 1 thing you should do, the number 1 attraction in Marvel Superhero Island, The Amazing Spider-Man Adventure. I don't know anything better than this. It has won so many awards for Best Dark Ride. In fact, it won like so many consecutive, I think 7 or 8 consecutive awards until Forbidden Journey came up onto the scene in Hogsmeade. This is a game-changing ride. It is the first ride of its kind. It was copied and done something similar in Universal Studios with Transformers. There's nothing else like it. it captures so many things. You have the ability to be on a track, a motion track that spins and moves. It is a virtual ride. It is 3D. It has everything. It's the first of its kind. It's a game-changing attraction. But even without the attraction, the queue is one of the best queues ever. You feel like you're in a comic book. You're walking through the Daily Bugle and the unique comic book toned colors that they have. And now there's even the tribute to Stan Lee, who has since passed away. Everything about this attraction is amazing. It's fantastic. Even the upgrade that it got, which was good to bring Dr. Octopus into a more modern light, is good. But I was fine with the old one. If they never changed anything, it would have been great. This is an amazing attraction. It's a game changer. It's one you should not miss. In fact, probably if I had to pick one attraction that I have gone on more than any other at Islands of Adventure, it would be this attraction. Maybe the only thing I've ever been on more than this is Men in Black over in Studio Side. That's hard to say. I really haven't counted, but over the course of my life, this ride, probably more than any other ride, is my all-time favorite ride in any theme park. I love this. I never miss this attraction, and you shouldn't either. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying this. Like and subscribe. Remember, hit the bell notification. Tell your friends about this if you're planning a vacation, if you know somebody planning a vacation. Just these things that can try and help them enjoy the vacation better. As always, go bless somebody else today and watch what happens in your life. Thanks for watching.